Before you try to fix your life, listen to this carefully. The reason nothing is falling into place is because your attention is everywhere except on yourself. You keep watching people who do not feed your future. You keep explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You keep reacting to noise, chasing approval, and calling it effort. But the day you become silent, the day you stop begging to be seen, the day you put all your energy back into your own mind, your own discipline, your own peace, everything begins to change. Not because the world suddenly becomes kind, but because you finally stop leaking your power. Here is the original 22,000 character speech draft. It keeps the speech itself without headings and avoids naming the inspiration figure. The moment you stop explaining yourself, people begin to hear your silence. And this is the part most people never understand. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not fear. Silence is not the place where you hide because the world became too loud. Silence is the place where you return, when you finally remember your power. You have spent too many days trying to convince people that you are growing. You have wasted too much energy proving that you are serious, proving that you are different now, proving that your heart is clean, proving that your dream is real. But listen carefully. The seed does not argue with the soil. The mountain does not explain its height. The river does not beg anyone to believe it is moving. It simply moves. And because it moves every day, quietly, patiently, without needing applause, one day it cuts through stone. This is what happens when you focus on yourself and stay silent. Life stops being a battlefield for attention and becomes a training ground for mastery. You no longer wake up asking, who is watching me? You wake up asking, am I watching myself? You no longer measure your value by the noise around your name. You measure your value by the discipline inside your day. And the strange thing is, when you stop chasing everything outside you begins to rearrange itself. But most people cannot do this. They are addicted to being seen before they are ready. They want the fruit before the roots are deep. They want the respect before the routine is strong. They want the victory before the private work has shaped their character. So they speak too early. They announce too much. They expose their plans to people who have no right to touch them. Then when doubt, jealousy, criticism, and distraction enter, they act surprised. You open the door. Not every dream needs an audience. Not every wound needs a witness. Not every plan needs an announcement. Some things must be protected in silence until they are strong enough to stand in the wind. When you are building yourself, you must understand something very serious. Your attention is your life. Wherever your attention goes, your life begins to follow. If your attention is on other people's opinions, your life becomes their property. If your attention is on comparison, your peace becomes a hostage. If your attention is on old pain, your future keeps kneeling to your past. But when your attention returns to your breath, your body, your habits, your mind, your choices, your work, suddenly you are no longer scattered. You become collected. And a collected person is dangerous, not because they want to harm anyone, but because they are no longer easy to control. People can control the distracted. They can disturb the reactive. They can manipulate the hungry ego. But a silent person who is focused inward is difficult to move. Praise does not intoxicate them. Insults do not destroy them. Delay does not break them. Rejection does not define them. They have stopped living as a leaf in the wind. They have become the tree. You may think silence means doing nothing. That is a childish understanding. Real silence is full of work. It is the silence of waking up when your body wants to remain weak. It is the silence of training when no one is recording. It is the silence of studying when no one claps. It is the silence of healing when no one apologizes. It is the silence of choosing peace when your anger is begging for a performance. It is the silence of walking away when your pride wants one more argument. This is why silence is so powerful. It removes the decoration and reveals the structure. When you stop talking, you discover what you are truly made of. When you stop posting every emotion, you discover whether you can actually sit with it. When you stop complaining about distractions, you discover whether you are willing to remove them. When you stop blaming people for stealing your peace, you discover how often you handed it to them. That discovery can be uncomfortable. Many people avoid silence because silence tells the truth. Noise lets you escape. Noise gives you someone else to blame. Noise keeps your mind running in circles, so you do not have to face the simple question, what am I doing with my own life? But when the room becomes quiet, when the phone is down, when the conversation ends, when there is no one to impress, the truth stands in front of you. And if you are brave, you do not run. You bow to it, you learn from it, you change. The path begins there, not when everybody understands you, not when somebody finally says sorry, not when life becomes easy. The path begins the moment you stop negotiating with your weakness. You say you want peace, but you keep feeding the habits that create chaos. You say you want focus, but you allow every notification, every opinion, every memory, every person's mood to enter your mind like they own the place. You say you want respect, but you keep disrespecting your own time. You say you want a new life, but you keep carrying the same reactions into every situation. This is not bad luck. This is poor training. A trained mind does not follow every feeling. A trained mind observes. A trained mind says, anger is here, but I do not have to become anger. Fear is here, but I do not have to become fear. Desire is here, but I do not have to become desire. Loneliness is here, but I do not have to run into the wrong company just to escape myself. This is the beginning of freedom, not getting everything you want. Freedom is no longer being dragged by everything that appears inside you. Focus on yourself does not mean you become selfish. It means you become responsible. There is a big difference. A selfish person uses others to feed their emptiness. A responsible person stops demanding that others fix what they have refused to face. When you focus on yourself, you stop asking the world to carry the weight of your unfinished inner work. You stop expecting people to give you discipline, clarity, confidence, and peace. You begin to build them. And when you build them, you become calmer. You no longer need to win every conversation. You no longer need to correct every misunderstanding. You no longer need to chase people who choose distance. You no longer need to explain your heart to those committed to misreading it. Let them think what they think. Let them say what they say. Let them walk where they walk. Your path is not a courtroom. You are not on trial every day. The strongest version of you will not be born from revenge. It will be born from restraint. Revenge keeps your energy tied to the person who hurt you. Restraint brings your energy back to the person you are becoming. And this is where many people fail. They say, I will show them. But their whole life becomes a reaction to someone else. That is still bondage. You are not free just because you are winning in front of them. You are free when they are no longer the reason you move. Move because your soul knows it is time. Move because your body deserves strength. Move because your future deserves a better guardian. Move because the child inside you waited long enough for an adult to arrive. Move because you are tired of betraying yourself in small ways and calling it survival. When you stay silent, People may misunderstand you. Let them. Some will call you distant because they lost access to your reactions. Some will call you arrogant because you stopped shrinking to make them comfortable. Some will call you cold because you are no longer available for drama. This is normal. When you change the pattern, people who benefited from the old pattern will complain. Do not be shocked. A door does not apologize for closing when the room needs protection. Your silence will reveal who respects your boundary and who only respected your availability. Your focus will reveal who supports your growth and who only liked your confusion. Your peace will reveal who brings calm and who brings storms. This is why focusing on yourself changes your circle without forcing anything. You do not need to make dramatic announcements. You simply stop participating in what weakens you. The wrong things begin to fall away by themselves. But understand this, falling away can feel like loss before it feels like freedom. At first, silence may feel lonely. Discipline may feel boring. Growth may feel invisible. You may look around and think nothing is happening, but much is happening beneath the surface. The root grows before the flower appears. The foundation is built before the house is seen. The blade is forged in fire before it is lifted in battle. Do not insult your hidden season because others cannot see it. The hidden season is sacred. This is where you become. This is where you remove the weak agreements you made with yourself. This is where you learn that your mood cannot be the master of your mission. This is where you stop asking motivation to carry what only discipline can carry. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline must become the house. Every morning you are given a small gate. Most people walk through it unconsciously. They grab the phone, feed the mind with noise, compare their life before they have even met their own breath, and then wonder why they feel heavy. Do not begin your day by surrendering your mind. Before the world enters, return to yourself. Breathe, sit, move, clean your space, drink water, read something that strengthens your thinking, write the one thing that matters. Then do it before the day becomes crowded. This is not simple advice. This is war against the old self. The old self loves comfort. The old self loves excuses. The old self loves tomorrow. The old self says, start when you feel ready. But readiness is often a lie dressed as wisdom. You become ready by practicing while you are not ready. You become confident by acting while doubt is still present. You become strong by lifting what feels heavy. You become peaceful by choosing peace while anger still has a voice. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions create weak warriors. Difficult conditions reveal your training. Anyone can be calm when nothing challenges them. Anyone can speak of patience when life is giving them what they want. But can you remain steady when the answer is delayed? Can you remain honest when lying would be easier? Can you remain kind without becoming foolish? Can you remain silent when your ego is starving for the last word? This is the test, not the test you post about, the test that happens in ordinary moments, the message you do not send, the habit you refuse to repeat, the hour you protect, the food you choose, the anger you breathe through, the gossip you leave, the promise you keep to yourself when no one would know if you broke it. These small private victories are the bricks of a life that cannot be easily shaken. People look for transformation in dramatic moments. They want the one decision, the one speech, the one opportunity, the one breakthrough. But most lives change quietly. One better morning, one honest reflection, one disciplined hour, one conversation avoided, one boundary respected, one task finished, one temptation survived, one night of choosing rest instead of self-destruction. These things look small, but small things repeated become destiny. When you focus on yourself, you begin to see how much energy you were wasting. You were carrying arguments that ended months ago. You were rehearsing conversations with people who were not even thinking about you. You were trying to be understood by those who enjoyed misunderstanding you. You were chasing approval from people who had not approved of themselves. You were watering dead branches and wondering why the tree looked tired. Cut the dead branches. Not with hatred, with clarity. Some people belong to your past. Some habits belong to your weakness. Some places belong to the version of you that did not know better. Do not keep visiting what you are trying to outgrow. You cannot heal in the same environment that rewards your sickness. You cannot become focused while entertaining every distraction. You cannot become silent while addicted to reaction. Choose. Choice is the blade. Every day you cut excuses, you cut noise, you cut false urgency, you cut the need to be liked by everyone. You cut the performance of being okay when you are actually avoiding the work. But you do not cut your heart. You do not become bitter. You do not become cruel. You become clear. Clarity is not loud. Clarity does not need to insult. Clarity simply knows. It knows what belongs and what does not. It knows when to speak and when to save the breath. It knows when to help and when helping has become enabling. It knows when to stay and when staying has become self-abandonment. It knows that peace is not found by controlling every person around you, but by governing the kingdom within you. There is a kingdom within you, whether you have cared for it or not. Your thoughts are its messengers. Your habits are its workers. Your values are its laws. Your attention is its currency. Your body is its temple. Your breath is its gate. If you let strangers, fears, addictions, and old wounds rule this kingdom, do not be surprised when your life feels occupied. Return to the throne. Returning to the throne means you stop living like a guest in your own mind. You stop letting every emotion sit in the highest seat. You listen, but you do not obey everything. You feel, but you do not worship every feeling. You remember, but you do not let memory become a prison. You desire, but you do not sell your future for a moment of comfort. This is inner leadership. And when inner leadership grows, outer life begins to shift. Not magically, not because the universe is impressed by your silence. It shifts because your decisions become cleaner, your reactions become slower, your standards become higher, your time becomes protected, your words become fewer and stronger, your work becomes deeper, your presence becomes heavier. People feel when you are no longer leaking energy. Have you ever entered a room and felt someone's calm before they spoke? That is not an accident. That is accumulated discipline. That is a nervous system trained not to worship chaos. That is a person who has met themselves in silence many times and did not run. You can become this, but not through pretending, not through copying the appearance of peace. You must do the inner work. Inner work is not always beautiful. Sometimes it is admitting that you were the problem in patterns you kept blaming on others. Sometimes it is seeing that you loved drama because peace felt unfamiliar. Sometimes it is recognizing that you used busyness to avoid emptiness. Sometimes it is confessing that you wanted success, but not the sacrifice. This is not shame, this is awareness. And awareness is the first clean breath after a long sleep. Do not hate the version of you that survived with poor habits. That version carried you this far, but do not let it lead you forever. Respect the old self for surviving, then train the new self to live. Survival is not the same as life. Survival reacts. Life chooses. Survival clings. Life creates. Survival fears silence. Life grows in it. There will come a moment when people notice you have changed. They will ask what happened. They will want a secret. They will think you found some hidden method, but the truth will be almost too simple for them. You stopped arguing with your potential. You stopped making your pain your identity. You stopped waiting for rescue. You stopped telling everyone your next move. You stopped feeding what was feeding on you. You became quiet. And in that quiet, you became serious. Being serious is rare. Many people are emotional about their dreams, but not serious. They talk with fire and act with laziness. They want transformation, but protect their comfort. They make promises at night and break them in the morning. Seriousness is different. Seriousness does not need witnesses. Seriousness chooses the boring repetition that creates uncommon results. Seriousness stays when excitement leaves. Ask yourself directly, are you serious or are you only inspired? Inspiration can make you speak. Seriousness makes you practice. Inspiration can make you imagine a new life. Seriousness makes you delete what keeps pulling you back. Inspiration can make you feel powerful for an hour. Seriousness makes you humble enough to begin again every day. This is why silence helps. It removes the intoxication of talking. When you talk too much about what you will do, your mind sometimes tastes the reward before the work is done. You receive praise for an intention and mistake it for progress. Be careful. Announcing can become a substitute for doing. Explaining can become a substitute for changing. Planning can become a substitute for beginning. Silence forces the truth. Did you do the work or not? There is peace in that truth. Harsh but clean. You either trained or you did not. You either protected your time or you did not. You either honored your word or you did not. No drama. No long story. No blaming the weather, the family, the past, the mood, the economy, the people who did not believe in you. Some obstacles are real, but your response is still yours. Do not confuse compassion with excuse. Yes, your pain matters. Yes, what happened to you may have been unfair. Yes, some people damage things inside you that they never helped repair. But if you use that pain as permission to remain undisciplined, then the wound becomes your master. Pain is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. This truth is uncomfortable. So many people reject it. Rejecting it does not make it false. When you focus on yourself, you take back responsibility without taking unnecessary blame. You say, I did not choose every storm, but I will choose how I build my shelter. I did not choose every wound, but I will choose whether I keep bleeding on my future. I did not choose every ending, but I will choose whether I become bitter or wise. This is power. Quiet power is not interested in looking powerful. It does not need to dominate the room. It does not need to embarrass others. It does not need constant proof. Quiet power is the person who can leave without hatred, speak without shaking, listen without losing themselves, work without applause, and rest without guilt. Quiet power is when your inside and outside are no longer fighting each other. Most people are exhausted because their life is divided. They show one face online, another face with friends, another face alone, another face when afraid. They spend so much energy managing images that they have no strength left to build substance. Stop performing. Build substance. The image needs maintenance. Substance needs practice. The image begs for attention. Substance earns respect. And understand this. Respect that comes from image is fragile. One rumor can shake it. One failure can break it. One season of silence can make people forget it. But respect that comes from substance is different. It is rooted in how you carry yourself, how you keep your word, how you handle pressure, how you treat people when there is nothing to gain, how you rise after falling. This kind of respect cannot be stolen easily because it is not borrowed from the crowd. There is a reason the deepest work happens away from noise. The body heals in rest. The mind clears in stillness. The character strengthens through private choices. The spirit becomes sharp when it is not constantly fed by distraction. You do not need more noise. You need more depth. Depth is created by attention over time. If you give shallow attention to everything, you will have deep mastery of nothing. This is the sickness of the age. Everyone is touching everything but holding nothing. Everyone is speaking, but few are listening. Everyone is watching, but few are seeing. Everyone is busy, but few are becoming. Do not be swallowed by this. Choose depth. Choose 1 hour of deep work over 10 hours of scattered effort. Choose one honest friend over a crowd of empty praise. Choose one clear habit over 100 motivational quotes. Choose one quiet morning over 1,000 noisy nights. Choose the slow path if the slow path builds something real. The slow path is not punishment. It is preparation. Fast success often exposes weak foundations. People rise quickly and collapse quickly because their character did not grow with their opportunity. Do not envy those who seem to move faster. You do not know what their foundation can carry. Build yours. Strengthen the beam. Deepen the root. Clean the mind. Train the body. Refine the speech. Guard the eyes. Protect the ears. Master the hands. Then when life gives you weight, you will not break under it. Silence also teaches you timing. Not every truth must be spoken immediately. Not every invitation deserves an answer immediately. Not every emotion deserves action immediately. Timing is wisdom moving with patience. The untrained person reacts because reaction feels powerful for a moment. The trained person waits because they understand that a moment of delay can save years of regret. Before you answer, breathe. Before you accuse, examine. Before you quit, rest. Before you chase, ask what you are afraid to lose. Before you post, ask what hunger is speaking. Before you speak, ask whether your words are medicine, poison, or noise. This small space between impulse and action is where your new life is built. Do not underestimate the space. In that space, you choose not to return to the old pattern. In that space, you choose not to beg for love. In that space, you choose not to spend money to impress people while your future starves. In that space, you choose not to trade your silence for the cheap comfort of being noticed ever.